Hi blog buddies, today we're going to talk about stress because it seems like a lot of people are stressed out with the way things are going with the economy and all the crap that's in the newspaper and all the wars and the violence and the hate and all that. So let's talk about stress today. So what is stress? Stress is what happens when there is a gap between the way things are and the way that you believe things should be. So for example, if I think everything should be smooth sailing right now and in actuality I have tons and tons of work to do and all these projects on my plate, then there's this gap. Here's the gap, and this gap causes me to be stressed. So the whole point is that there really is no gap between the way things ought to be and the way things are. In actuality, it's right here, and that this moment and every moment is exactly as it should be, and exactly as it needs to be. There's no gap, even though we might perceive there to be one, there isn't. And if you don't believe me, think back in your own life to some of the things that have happened, whether it was the jobs that you didn't get, or the schools you didn't get into, or the relationships that came apart. And what oftentimes happens is that as one door closes, another opens, or life has something even more amazing in store for us. If I think about the jobs that I didn't get, and when I didn't get them, I was totally bummed. But in actuality, thank God I didn't get them, because what I'm doing now is even more exciting and more incredible than what I would have otherwise been doing. Even the tragedies that we experience are often really important lessons that we need to learn. So if you know this, it eliminates stress and anxiety. But a lot of people really enjoy stress and anxiety. It kind of becomes part of their identity, part of who they are. And that's a choice, and that's a choice that people can make. It's also interesting to observe the cycle of anxiety in this world. And a perfect example of it is the newspaper. And you pick it up, and it's about the economy being crappy, or someone getting killed, or this act of violence, or Chris Brown beating up Rihanna, whatever it is, right? All this violence and nastiness and hate. The newspaper presents that all as the problem, so there's the problem. And then the solution is presented in the ads. Buy this and you'll feel better. Buy this and you'll feel better. Buy this and you'll feel better. And it kind of creates this cycle, right? Because here's the problem, here's the solution. And if you buy the stuff to make yourself feel better, of course you won't, right? You buy the new car or this, and of course that doesn't help treat the anxiety, and you end up working more hours in order to pay for it. So it probably feeds into even more anxiety and more stress. So it's the cycle, the self-perpetuating cycle. I think it's wiser to kind of unplug yourself from it and remind yourself that there's no such thing as stress. There's only stressful thoughts. We create this gap between the way things are and the way we believe things should be. Those are all thoughts. We can create stressful thoughts, but there's no such thing as stress. Only stressful thoughts. We create those, and we can choose not to create them. So needless to say, I'm a really big advocate of the 4-day work week. So I've actually pulled myself down to a 2.5-day work week, and there is something very beautiful about the weekend being longer than the work week. I like to say that I work to live, I don't live to work. In other words, I work what I need to work in order to fund my life, in order to have the money that I need to exist and to buy groceries and have a roof over my head. But I don't spend the 60 hours in the office or the 80 hours in the office. And if I did, sure, I'd have a fancy new car or a bigger condo. But I don't really want that, and I know that stuff really isn't going to contribute to my happiness, and that in order to maintain it, I'd have to work longer hours, and then it becomes a lot easier to plug into this whole cycle of anxiety and stress. So that's my 2 cents. Thank you for joining me. I love you, and thanks for joining, and I love you, and I love you. Okay, bye.